Welcome back, everybody, to session 5 of Crypt of the Elephant. Our rogues just infiltrated the city of Tytheolis, the Yathite capital on the inner coastline of the deserts of Thorana, just neighboring the coastal rim of the Temesgir, the Green Corridor. Upon entry, scaling the narrow walkways and or ledges, with the Gorgon child Misa sitting on Nadim's shoulders. You weren't accosted, but you did run into a group of seemingly possibly other thieves, other marauders. All of them Yathites, some of them tattooed. Uh, I did not give them the greatest description, as we were kind of pressed for time last session, but to give them a little bit more justice here. They look. I'm gonna lean on Gree for a little bit of this. So Gree has some I shouldn't say, he has more understanding and experience with the criminal underworld by necessity, as a prior guild student. These 8 individuals, maybe a handful of cycles older than you. None of them would be older than, say, maybe like 25 years old if they were of Earth. So, I mean, they just a little bit, possibly like upperclassmen, if you will, and all dressed like street toughs. Stylized tattoos. They all wore a sky blue sash around their waist, almost like a piratical sash, if you will. And they between a short thieves sign language conversation between Nadim and seemingly the point man of their group. You found out that you're sick. Don't bring your sick to the guild, the medicine guild, because the medicine guild is in a bad way. Possibly an eye roll of agrees. Oh yeah, no, we're not going there. I'm not going there. Y'all can. But on this ledge, there was a bit of tension there. You could not afford getting into a melee fight here. Having a blast of daggers thrown down the hallway would have destroyed you all and thrown you into the drink below, to end up in the bellies of the crocodiles of the river. So after a brief hand sign language conversation, these street toughs in the sky blue colors, they backed up into like seeming like a side passage to let you pass. You stepped out onto a ledge that was obscured by an old sail that seemed like to obscure the crack in the wall. And the sounds of a city at mid-morning, the sights, the sounds, the smells, find you here. Terry, describe your character and what's it like to be home again?
Bree is between 17 and 19 years old, very tanned, and got the darkish skin of the Athites, close cut hair, Um, and is wearing still kind of raggy type clothes and doesn't have a lot of equipment encumbering him anymore. As he's been slowly trying to build up some personal equipment from after many sessions ago when it was his equipment was all lost in the river. But he's still porting some very big black and blue marks, still healing from his ordeal in the river. Um, I am excited to be in the city to resupply, especially since we have coin and we don't have to do it, um, you know, criminally necessarily. However, I'm feeling like I need to kind of explain to the team at some point um, why I left the city and under what circumstances, which we've kind of talked about our past, but never in any type of detail. Um, and I have a friend here. So my number one concern is to move throughout the city to get to Yafari's, and who can hopefully put us into somewhere safe until we can get our bearings and figure out our next step. I understand that we have, Misa with us, and even to Yafari's, that's going to seem like gold pieces on a plate. And so if we hope to uh, continue to protect the young Gorgon child, we have to make sure that that is known, that this is our charge, and this isn't a gift or an attempt at profiting, just because what she contains or what she's about could be worth a lot of coins to the right people.
Yes, it becomes readily apparent as soon as you get into, or should get past the city walls, that Misa could very much be used as a rather potent bargaining chip, because she has two healthy eyeballs that, let me tell you, a sorcerer would pay top coin for. Zirak, you are ill and much paler than you probably should be. Describe your character for us.
Yeah, there's definitely a sickly pallor to the bronze skinned Talishite man. As pale as a someone with the bronze skin tone can get, he's pretty darn pale. He Other than his Talishite appearance to go with it, there's the dark stripe of the pitch black hair that stripes down his otherwise the bluish black hair of the Talishites. His hair is about shoulder length, with his beard fairly close kept. He's got a thick arm hair, thick chest hair that kind of pokes out over his hauberk. He has muscular legs. You can really see if you look at him, his leggings look like they are definitely worn on the inside. He has been riding for a long time. You've never seen him with a mount thus far in our story, and he hasn't had a mount, but he's clearly had many years on horseback. He usually has a no nonsense look about him, pretty stern, but right now he's just trying to hold it together. He's very unfocused because of his illness. He is just trying to get to the next thing. Just take the next few steps, just hold it together.
There's a lad. Nadim, describe your character for us.
Nadim, you can actually see more of Nadim than you usually could. Since his cloak is now currently being used for Miza's protection and anonymity. Just couldn't think of the word there for a second. Uh, he is a Thoranean, stands a little under 6 feet. Rated most anyone ever sees him is he has very dark eyes, very dark hair. You can actually see a little bit of his beard now. It comes down probably a good 6 to 8 inches, nicely braided, nicely trimmed. He keeps it very well kept, so it can be tucked away, so it can't be seen when he has his cowl and mask on. Currently, he has Miza up on his shoulders, so he is unable to have a hand on his bow, lest he shakes her off, which he does definitely not want to do and toss her into the drink. That would kind of negate everything they've been working for so far. As they step out, he is going to do his best to kind of not necessarily shield her from people, but definitely have her kind of in his shadow. So if anyone does raise questions, they kind of have to go through him first. Um, unless she decides to change who she wants to be next to, he will offer his hand and squeeze it reassuringly. That little brotherly slash paternal mindset coming through, even though, it's definitely not how he should be in his line of work, but he doesn't give a fuck. They can all go rot in hell. At the moment, he would be head on a swivel, basically looking for their spot to get Zarok looked at.
For your group's anonymity, we have not emerged from the old sail blind here. Nadim is point right now. You can actually peek out around there if you'd like to. It from this the sound and the smells, you might be on the edge of like the inner harbor where like the delta meets the sea. Think like it's the very briny, fresh, salt water transition there. It's pretty murky. If you actually look directly down, the water's pretty murky, and there's sounds of probably a conversation beyond. You don't know if there's a marketplace nearby, but there are people here. They don't see you. You don't see them. Whoever wants to peek out and be as furtive as possible, proceed with caution, gentlemen.
Is there any way I can wrap my head and potentially my cover my face in a way that's inconspicuous, that it's not like, hey, that guy's trying to cover his face, but more of like what Yathites would do just to kind of keep out of the sun, protect from the sun.
Like a not necessarily like a turban or a maybe like a schmog, yeah, a sand mask, if you will.
Right,
I
yeah.
think you'd have a scarf. Zarek, you bought him a scarf, right? Wink, wink.
Yes.
Then there, yeah, no, you can wrap your head up.
Okay. So I just want to make note then that I'm not just barefaced
Oh, no,
smiling
no,
away, that
yeah,
I
okay.
am essentially wrapped up.
All right, perfect. We'll take a little bit of that scene. Gree wraps his obscures his features with a scarf. Uh Zarek, how you doing over there?
Keep
Pretty
trying to
shitty.
keep my balance, leaning on my spear,
There you go.
staying upright.
All right.
I'm gonna say to Nadine, I'm like, see if you can poke your head out and, and tell me what you see so I can try to figure out where exactly we are.
Yeah, as careful as possible. Nadim will poke out to see if there's any traffic coming their way.
You do not see any traffic coming your way, but there's about maybe 2, 3 dozen people down on the stone wharf below you, maybe like 40 feet below you. You got to go down like this flag stone stairway. That's also pretty narrow to get down there. There are quite a few hovels built into the lower seawall there. And if you assume that commoners and possible slaves also live here. It's like a small fish market below. Plenty of eyes, but nothing in the way of massively like threatening individuals might accost you here. The biggest threat, I suppose, since you guys came here, may or may not have been those street toughs, but they evidently didn't want anything to do with you, and they got out of your way so you can get out of theirs.
Right. Now the dean will look up and down just to be sure. He'll take note of the busyness of the wharf over top that and that little bit ways away. He'll poke his head, bring his head back in, look at the other two, and say that the coast is clear. We don't have anyone on our particular stretch. And he will describe the staircase going down as well as the busyness about.
Green, make me an academics test quick.
Also, since Green mentioned being here, Nadim will kind of defer to him of, do you know the quickest way to where we need to go? It's been a while since I've been here.
So I rolled a total of 12, but one of my die was a 1.
Oh, so that was an 8 and a 1.
It was a 5 and a 1.
Oh, 5 and
And
1.
then I have
Oh.
and then I have 6 for academics.
Oh, okay. Well, no, you're perfectly fine. That's actually bare minimum what you needed.
So 12. Yeah.
Excellent. It dawns on you at this time that Zarak with his spear is going to be very inconspicuous. Weapons longer than your forearm are illegal to the common folk of the street. And if the watch sees you, the people, let me tell you, the people that you really do want to talk to, they will either probably give him a severely deadly beating or just confiscate the spear and give him a severely deadly beating. One of the two.
Okay.
He's
Zaraki,
technically also a Talishite, and they might just want to not have him in the city, period.
we need to do something about this.
Yeah, that's why
your
we're here. I'm
weapon-
sick, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, now is the time that we have to talk about your spear, which I know how you feel about. But if you take that out there, number one, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb, and number two, it is illegal, and you will get you'll get it taken away. That would be the least thing that would happen, but you would be arrested and beaten probably more than likely.
Oh, I wouldn't have to hang out in jail long, I suspect.
Yeah. Okay, so that little niche that they ducked into to let us around, could you describe
Yes.
that? Is that something that we could conceivably hide the spear in there and come back for it like later in the dark?
I don't know if we can come back for it, but
Sounds like it's. I mean, I assume it'll
It's
get plundered, but it sounds like the only place to put it.
out of
yeah,
curiosity.
you actually could. If you duck in there, it seems like it's like a small like supply cache. There's boxes, crates, there's a few weapons in there themselves. I mean, you people leave shit in there seemingly. All right.
Out of curiosity, is this a spear? And I don't know how Zarok has his made or whatnot. Kind of there's a whole bunch of different styles. Is this a spear that we could technically take off the head and have him just walk around with a stick? And then we always reattach the head later?
Good
I mean,
question.
whatever the standard make of a bronze spear would be for the Talishite people.
Let me. No, the thing is firmly attached.
It's firmly attached. All right. Damn it.
Good thing though. Good.
Good thought.
Yes. Good eye.
And I was thinking we could literally just put the spearhead into one of the bags and it could be a
Yeah.
trade good.
Right.
But okay, no, if it's firmly attached, it's firmly attached. There's nothing we can do about that.
But it seems like there's enough stuff in this niche that we could hide it amongst this other supplies and make it not so obvious. Just we're not pitching the spear in there and like just leaving it. We can actually actively try to hide it in amongst this stuff.
Right. It's
Yeah,
kind of a
let's do
hiding
that.
hidden in plain sight kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the only option, Zarok would go for that.
It would literally be your death if we stepped out with your spear.
Yeah, I mean, let's do it. Let's we'll ditch my gear. I'll leave the shield too because I mean, it would probably look weird walking around with a shield, just with a shield.
More than likely. That'd be very suspicious.
Yeah, so I will ditch the spear and the shield.
Is there a staff or like basically walking stick in there for Zarok to use?
There's a cane. Like a 3.5 foot long cane. Well, maybe it's like hip high on him.
Right. Well, because I know he's using his spear partially as like a walking stick. So
Yeah.
So
swap it. Yeah. One more thing that we should probably do too, and Zorak, do you have a scarf? Or do we need to like
Yeah, I would have any smart and prudent desert gear. So yeah.
Yes.
I've been wandering these deserts for probably at least like 5-6 years. So yeah, I would have a scarf.
All right, I'm gonna help him tie it up around his head. That would look like a Yathite way. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, no, that's perfect if you could tie it in
Do
that
this.
fashion.
Yep, and then this kind of knot, and the knot goes here, and now you're gonna blend in a lot more.
He's just an abnormally tall Yathite. That's fine. They just fed him very well as a kid.
yeah, he wasn't beat as often.
Nice. So
yeah, Sirach will if that short staff or cane will work, he'll start using that and he'll kind of lean on Gree's shoulder. Like he'll have one hand on his shoulder. He's not like doing an old man impression, but like he's sick enough where like he's letting someone
an old
lead
man
him.
impression.
Yeah, right.
He's letting someone lead him.
So I've got one more thing too, and this isn't to mean offense to you, but since you're still learning our language, your dialect and your accent is gonna give us away. So maybe if anyone talks to you directly, just be simple. That could be our story. He's my simple brother.
Yeah, no, that was
then
my plan was to use as few words as I had to.
All right, I just didn't want to surprise you in case we had to pull that out of our cookus. So
yep, you got it.
All right.
Okay.
Well, Nadine, if you're ready to go, I think we're ready to go.
All right. Yeah, if we're all stacked up, Nadim will walk out into the light, so to speak.
Yeah, once you're out there into the sun. There is very little wind on this day in the city, but a coastal arid country, as Tharana is, it's 128 degrees outside. That sun is like daggers on your skin, and it beats you. People are sticking to the shade, drinking copious amounts of water. And you find yourself sticking to the shade because, oh my, by all the gods, why? Who pissed off Zabraxian? Why does he hate Tharana so much? Why does he bake the world with his fiery gaze? You make your way through the marketplace. The sights and the sounds of the place, the chatter, and the many different languages and dialects being spoken here. Gree, it makes you homesick even though you're here. And seeing priests and scholars meet in small groups in their long robes and their golden togas with their pharaonic beards, standing on quarters, discussing religious texts. Nadim, we pass by this montage of scenes here. We pass by a corner shrine to Ereshkigal, as there are two blue painted priestesses who are not wearing very much. They are wearing feather and bone headdresses and grass skirts as they're chanting the sutras to the goddess of the underworld and death. They're very well-equipped ladies, standing in front of a gold-plated bronze effigy of Ereshkigal, who in some portions of this statue are also painted blue like they are. You may wish to pay your respects at that shrine, or you may wish to pass by. It is up to you. But
he will stop long enough to nod to the two ladies, nod to the statue, offer a brief inward prayer of thanks. But at the moment, unless he wants to give Zarok to her, they need to continue moving.
right?
And he will, of course, inwardly or under his breath, mutter that he will be back shortly to pay proper respects.
So, Gree, where would Yafaris be? Where does he hang out?
Well, it would be in the crime-ish poor area, but he wouldn't be living in squalor. He would have some type of villa or whatever they have here for like an upscale type abode. But it would be close to the action.
Okay. So, Yafaris, well, I'll put him down near the docks, but obviously not in the slums. I wouldn't consider him to be a very wealthy man, but he probably does own his own home. I'm assuming you guys are going to meet him now, or at least attempt to meet him.
Correct. What I'll do is I'll lead us somewhat directly there, although I am going to be incredibly paranoid that we're not attracting attention and we haven't picked up any followers. So it might not be the most direct route, but it's going to be pretty damn direct.
Those who are urban in skill we'll say, make some streetwise tests. I want to see if you guys grew a tail.
Ooh.
Oh shit!
I've got awareness. Does that
Gree
count?
doesn't. Gree is a thief, and he doesn't have streetwise.
I've got stealth, burglar,
Oh,
awareness.
golly gee, man! All right, Nadim.
I was in the university during this
Yeah.
time, and my
Guess who's
streetwise
taking
was
up streetwise when we level up again?
Fucking better. After this, Nadim will teach it to you if you don't fucking take it. Double sevens for an 18.
Hang on a second. Terry, you said you had some skill points left over, right?
I filled them out though.
Oh, you did? Oh, shit. Okay. I was going to be like, you
Yeah.
put some in right now.
Well, yes, but never mind. We won't
Yes,
argue
but
semantics
no,
right
and.
now. Yeah, we won't argue semantics. We have
Oh,
not
look,
been
what
in
is
an
that? A
urban
value
setting.
point?
Yeah.
No,
What is that? A
no.
value
It's-
point I see there?
We have not been in an urban situation for Nadim to teach Gree the fine tunings of the streetwise ways.
All right,
And-
fine.
And we didn't do any gambling along the way either. So
I don't know. He grew up here. It sounds like no, I'm just kidding.
Terry, make me a streetwise test just because I said so.
What is streetwise? Is it cunning?
cunning.
Yeah, cunning is streetwise cunning based. I gotta give you a +1 bonus to it.
Just because
Okay.
just because it's home, you know these streets.
I rolled a 13.
It's the local bonus.
Yes, right. The local bonus. Hey,
Plus
man,
one for
it
local.
could be a thing. You don't think so? And Nadim, you're not so sure, but you don't see a face.
Oh yeah, cause that comforts him all so much. Telling the assassin he doesn't see a face, but he's not sure. Yeah, thanks.
Also, Zarak, you feel like you're being watched, but you're also going through a fish market. So
Yeah, all those dead fish eyes are looking at me. That's what I feel like. Okay. Trying not to hurl. Ugh. Sick, and I'm walking through a fish market.
Right. What's
The
Miza
smell is
doing?
overpowering.
she's humming.
She's humming. Of course
Right?
she is. God, she's so adorable.
She's humming a song you've never fucking heard of. And she's sitting there just contently with her hands on the top of your head. And yeah, she's having a grand old time. She
Actually,
hasn't a
go
thought
ahead.
in the world of danger. What's that, Terry?
no. I wanted you to finish, but I had another thought to the group as far as fitting in.
Oh yes,
I
please.
know I'm back in the city and I'm smelling all my home foods. Who's got the coins? Because you know what would make us blend in a little bit better is if we picked up some street food and just walked along eating like we were just everybody. Plus, I'm really, really hungry for my home cooking. Plus, maybe Miza's probably hungry too. Oh, she wouldn't be able to necessarily eat very well.
That cow
almost
is
as
big
if
enough.
on cue, Miza's stomach growls.
But if we can pick up some kebabs or something, we're just going to look a lot less conspicuous if we're walking and eating. Maybe something
Right, like
rich, too.
we belong here. We're eating. We're locals. Come on. All right. Thanks, Terry. I'm gonna give you guys like a +3 bonus to blending in.
+3 to streetwise. Oh, by the way, Zarak has a question real quick about as we were passing the priestesses of Ereshkigal. Is there like a offering basket or box or something like near the priestesses?
There's a copper bowl at the feet of this effigy of her, and you'll okay as you guys are walking by, maybe like two people have come up and drop coins or flower petals in there. So you know it is a public shrine.
Just being closer to death than he's been in the last chain, because of his other injuries. I think Zerak would have just dove his hand into his copper pouch and just tossed a number of coins in there and just mumbled loud enough probably for Agree to hear him, and just, not today. Or he
If
would
it's
have
gotta
said,
be today, can I have a peaceful passing, please?
he would have
It's
said,
gotta
not
be.
today, please. Um and
Roll me
I
3d8 then.
okay, I rolled 2. I will
Right,
roll a
right,
third.
yeah. Okay.
See, my,
Yeah.
my plan was to roll 2 and see one, how
If
the
any
dice roll,
explode.
and
What-
two, if
What's the dice roll for?
How many
just
coins?
how
he
many
just
coins
might-
I throw in. Yeah,
A
that's
random
exactly
amount
it.
of coins.
Between the 3d8, it was 16, so I would have thrown 16 copper coins in there.
There you go.
You knew what I was doing.
If you want to narrate that little scene snippet there, Alex, by all means, go for it.
Well, because I mean, what did Nadim say as he went by? Like
That's probably
Nadim-
inner monologue.
Yeah, Nadim basically would have stopped, nodded to the priestesses, nodded to the effigy. But because he wants to get you fixed up, he wouldn't have stopped long. But yeah, he was in an inward prayer to her of, thank you for getting us here. Please don't take my friend yet. I'll be back later. But that was
how
all
long?
inward.
How long would that have taken? 10 seconds.
All
Less
of like
than.
yeah. All of
Okay.
like it was probably like 30 seconds from stop to start again.
When Zerak sees the nod to priestesses, he's looking around and his head is kind of downcast, so he probably sees the bowl, and he just dumps his hand into his copper pouch and just flings a number of coins, that's those 16 coins in that bowl. And then Gree here, because he's got his hand on Gree's shoulder, leaning on his staff with the other hand, he hears Zerak mumble, not today, please.
I'm gonna pull up a different document. Why the hell do I always have to pull up like 14 documents just to run a session? Come on, guys.
I've already got my gods and goddesses docs up.
Do you? Look at you.
I have the deities doc right there. I've got
Arash
it.
Kagal. There we go. I was gonna say, yeah, no. I was gonna have them do something for you, but Priestess of
they don't
Arash
have to.
animate undead. So no, one of these priestesses is going to looks at because your coins just like splish into the water there, and he like splashes out a little bit. She looks at the splash on the floor. She looks up at all the coins you put in the offering bowl, and she follows your arm back to you, and she just kind of looks at you and with this expression of, oh, wow, he's sick. He doesn't say anything, but that's like the look on his face, her face, excuse me. And she puts her hand on your shoulder, and her hand is fucking cold. And I'm not being sexist, like women are just cold to the touch. No, she puts her hand on your shoulder, on your skin of your shoulder. And God damn, she's chill. On a day like today, it actually feels rather soothing, but this is like icy.
Frostburn almost.
And nobody should be cold out here. It's almost 130 fucking degrees.
Right.
Yeah.
Apparently, these ladies are living in an air conditioning type religion that this kind of weather doesn't bother them.
Give me some of that.
You're right. Can I have that right now? She puts her hand on your shoulder, and she says in the Yathite tongue with a strange accent that makes you very uncomfortable. She says, "Oh, the goddess will take care of you. She'll make sure that your passing is peaceful. Hopefully it is not soon, and it is at the end of a long and peaceful life." She just she takes her hand away and she lets you go on your way.
Zorak would just nod, just nod once or twice, and then they would just keep going.
Does Gree hear this? Did she say
Oh
it
yeah, no.
loud enough that I could hear?
Yeah.
She's got a soft voice. She's not obviously like preaching or anything, but it is loud enough for like the five of you can hear. 5 or 6. Just their small immediate shrine area. There's a quiet
I wait
reverence
till
to her voice.
I wait till she walks away, and I say to him, "A long and peaceful life." We're not doing so good on that.
Well, it hasn't been peaceful yet, but I'll take the long part.
All right, let's get you somewhere safe so that we can start working on this infection.
All right. Is anybody hungry? Back to snacks.
Right? Food.
Snap back to the snacks moment. I just didn't want to interrupt earlier.
I'm getting shrimp kebab because yes.
You can for about 8 copper furnish everyone with street food. When it comes to sweet bread cakes or dried fruits and grilled fishes for this morning's obviously street vendor fare, but you have options, but it'll cost roughly about eight copper for basically a combination of all that to get everyone fed.
Nadim will pay for that because
Okay.
he knows Gree is broke and Zorak is too damn sick. So, and also Zorak just put a whole bunch of copper into a bowl. So he paid
Right.
for the blessing. Nadim will pay for the food.
Fair.
And I'll help point
Yeah.
out food. Let's get some. Oh, look at it. I got some over there. That's food. Let's get some of that.
Miza's olive, brown, and green hand comes out from under her cloak and waits patiently for a kebab.
Right. He'll hand one up to her. He said, "You be careful."
She she holds on to she holds on to a fistful of your beard with one hand, and she just takes the kebab with the other. You should have a fucking handle up there, man. I mean, you're not wearing a turban either, so. And if
No,
you,
well, I mean, his hair's thick enough. She could probably just hold on to that.
oh, fair. But she goes about the rest of this scene pulling shrimps, I say not shrimps, but large prawns off of a kebab, and she eats the prawns like a pro. She sucks the head off with this disgusting pro uh shellfish eater, and she eats the rest of it, hanging off with this tiny hand, and the hand disappears under the hood that she's created, followed by a slurp sound. It's like, God damn it, girl, can you just do that quieter? And she's a little bit obnoxious about it, but whatever. She's a kid, and no one's paying attention to her, thank the gods. And you guys pass on from this small fish market. Gree, you have the unfortunate aspect as you have to take us through one of the main thoroughfares to get to Yafari's villa, and you're going to be walking for about an hour, in and out. I'm gonna say, and it's hot out, and there are bodies, and you know most of the alleys where the pickpocketers are probably the worst. So is it fair to say that we don't bring a sick man and a child into these more dangerous areas?
Correct. Yeah, I won't take the direct dangerous route. I'll work us around the nasty parts as best I can
Okay.
to take I will sacrifice length to a safer route. Yeah.
Okay.
And when we get to an area that's a little on the sketch side, I'm definitely going to warn them, like,
Of course.
okay, hands on your purses. This part's a little dicey.
Jokes on them. My purse is with the girl.
Right? They gotta, if they're gonna rob you thoroughly, they gotta take the girl. Uh, so, and
And
on
if
your
they take the
shoulders is
girl,
probably.
they got another surprise coming.
Yes. Thanks, Terry. That was grim as hell. So, uh, using the previous streetwise tests, that feeling of being watched slowly evaporates as you kind of fall into the current of the crowd. But when you get past one of the main thoroughfares, you go into kind of say a darker part of town. The buildings are starting to crumble into the sea. The spires of the main temple are off in the distance. There's no proper castle here. The whole city really is the castle, the fortification. The enormous palace or administrative building is this huge sprawling affair on the Acropolis just nearby. The guards of the city, the brightly plumed captains, they kind of strut around like peacocks, and you more of home and the faces and the individuals that you learn to steer clear of again start to remind you, oh well, maybe it's probably best we get the hell out of the city as quick as possible. The gaze of one of these guardsmen kind of lingers upon the three of you for a little longer than you're comfortable with until you can duck into an alleyway and break line of sight. But after quite a bit of navigating and negotiating what you consider to be the safest route, Gree, you bring us to where Yafaris lives. He has what equates to like a small villa that's on a terrace that sits above one of the wharfs. This wharf actually has three ships, two on one side, one on the other, that are docked. You can't remember if he actually owns this particular dock or if one of the ships is his, but there are people around. He does not have guards outside, and nor does he have a private like a wall. He doesn't have a front yard. He's not that executive yet. But there is a more well-made front door and a sliding window where a face should be that's covered by a bronze grate. with the holes in the grate fine enough to stop most daggers. How do you wish to proceed?
In my visits with him, with my master, what is once I understood what his business was and his line of work, I wanted to think back if there was some protocol of how my master would call upon him, just so we don't upset anybody on the inside of the villa.
You remember that there's a process to gaining an audience or alerting business partners to to appointments and admittance. You're supposed to knock twice on the front door and then go around back to the side door and knock 3 times.
Okay. I'll explain that to the crew, and I'll walk up to the front door, and then I'll go off to the side door and
knock 3 times. All right. Do you guys follow him around back to the side door?
Yes.
I was
Okay.
gonna say, unless he tells me not to, he's my walking
yeah.
buddy. So
The Rock kind of needs to, but yeah, Nadine will follow behind.
You gotta negotiate a bit of a tight squeeze. The backyard, quote unquote. You can't see, but I'm using air quotes here. The backyard is kind of obscured by some overgrown palms, so you got to kind of like push your way through the through the fronds here, which is kind of you can guess it's kind of a mild deterrent for people going back there. Those who have business in the Yafaris would be like, all right, you just got to go through the foliage, and it's kind of like uncomfortable, but you get back there, you knock 3 times, and you sense that there is some movement within in the door cracks, and you see one of Yafari's attendants they in the crackery, and he as soon as you see him and he sees you guys make eye contact, he rolls his eyes. He goes, "What do you want, Gree?"
I need to talk to Master Yafaris. It's very important.
All right. He closes the door. There's some silence. There are like 10 minutes of you waiting there. And then the door opens, and there are 4 guys armed right there. And the door attendant, you know this guy, but you don't actually know his name. We don't deal in names.
He's a guy. We know a guy.
He's one of his guys. You are bid to enter, and you are brought to a kind of like a sitting area. And Yafares comes out. To describe this guy, he's a bit of an older Yath. He's probably in his late 40s, early 50s. In the Earth calendar here, and he's got he still wears the eyeliner on days where it is particularly bright, and it, the eyeliner protects from sunlight. He's not wearing clothes that are overly ostentatious, but he's clearly a man of means, but he also still works with his hands. He's currently not armed, as he does not need to be armed in his own home. And he sits behind a desk near you, and he doesn't even look at Gree. Doesn't even fucking look at him. As he comes in, sits behind this desk, and pulls out a ledger, and he scribbles a note in there with a stick of charcoal. And he goes, "Yes, Gree."
Master Ifaris, thank you so much for seeing us. Um, I feel so welcome to be in your presence, and it's been a very long time. I look upon you fondly with the friendship that you had with my masters. So thank you again for
You're late,
allowing me.
Master. He is no longer with us.
This
Is
is
when he
true.
finally looks up at you and gives you a hell of a stink eye. Give me a reason not to think that you were the one who did him in.
He was my master. Okay, I do have persuasion, so, and I'm very much.
Roll
He
it.
was my master. That is a 13.
13. He snorts derisively at you.
He was my master. I did care for him very much, and I had much to learn from him. I was only just beginning my studies. I had no reason to cause him any harm. I would love to find out who was responsible for that myself. I just couldn't have the complication or I didn't have a position to stand on for what was going to happen to me if they thought I was responsible, which I wasn't.
It's rather suspicious that your late instructor dies and you disappear seemingly that evening. They
I
have
had to
been
get out.
tearing apart the guild ever since to find you.
That I can't help. I regret having to leave, but and maybe it was more cowardice on my parts, but I just felt my life would be forfeit if I stayed. But I swear to you that I didn't have anything to do with his death, and that I would have no reason to cause him any harm. I certainly didn't profit from anything that happened.
Do you still have his journal?
I do not.
This is when he narrows, like he furrows his brow and his eyes narrow to slits as you say that. And where is it?
So that brings me to our visit. Um, I am here to ask for help and help for my companions, but I do come with information. So I hope that you'll hear the tale that I have about the journal, but understanding that it ties into a bigger tale, a bigger narrative. Let me tell our story. This is okay.
I'm listening.
So after I got out of the city, I made my way through the wilderness and was able to scrape and scrounge by using the skills that were taught to me in the university. Eventually, I made it to a village where I met another companion, plus my friend here, Zarat, and they were under hard times. They had lost a citizen into the swamp and offered us a reward in order to go back and retrieve him. We went into the swamp to find this person, and we came to a river. We were following tracks. We were hoping it was going to lead to him, and I had a mishap and fell into the river. I lost all of my equipment, all of my supplies. I lost the journal, and I almost lost my life.
Yeah. He pinches the bridge of his nose. Go
Everything was
on.
lost. So we did come across a village of help me out here, star merchants,
Star nomads, the cannibals.
star nomads. We had a brief encounter with them. One of my companions was killed, and the two of us managed to pull back and survive. So coming back empty-handed, not finding the citizen who was lost, and also losing one of our companions, we decided to fall back to the village. This is part of the reason why I wanted to come see you. When we got to the village was completely wiped out. It was every man, woman, and child were either dead or taken away, and the village was destroyed. What we did find, and I kind of like look at the other two, was an elephant skull altar, and I'll describe the decorations. And there was a dead human sacrifice, a girl, laid upon the altar. I wanted to make sure that knowing your trade and your business and the safety of the city, what we saw, because this could be a very terrible thing that's happening out there. And I don't know how big the group was, and if they would pose a threat to the city, or if they're just wiping out these villages around the city.
That's interesting.
In the meantime, through various combats that we've had fighting for our lives, my companion Zorak here was wounded and does have an infection. I've been able to treat it as best I can with what we were able to scrounge and scavenge, but I really would need your help to help heal him and at the very least get rid of the infection before it takes his life.
I don't know if it would help at all if Zorak would add this. But he would say he saved my life, and then I saved his life after the river, and now he is saving my life again with your help.
The Yafari just kind of goes wide. His eyes go wide. And he says, "Hey, you brought a Talishite into my home?" And that's when the weapons of the guards come out at this point. And he quickly stands up and tears a dagger out from under his robes there.
Oh, as he mentioned, we are indebted to each other, and he is very, very wounded right now. He has no weapons on him and poses no threat. Absolutely no threat. He is as weak as a kitten.
I am not a raider.
Oh, Satan Nadim, what are you and Misa doing right now? As you're now being accosted by 5 individuals.
I'm assuming up until the point that weapons were drawn, Maiza would be doing the equivalent of watching this with a bowl of popcorn while she's eating her kebabs.
Yeah, right. She's almost done with her prawns.
Nadim is, I mean, he's letting those guys just kind of hash it out. As soon as weapons are drawn, though, Nadim like takes a half step back and very quickly starts heavy, like head on a swivel and taking numbers and looking for exit points.
Okay. All right.
It is still not his conversation to really butt into. Nor has he seen any markings to tell him that he might be in the presence of an assassin guild member. So he is not going to expose himself, nor has he seen anyone use the thieves' cant to use that as an alternate means of communication. So he is kind of hands tied at the moment.
Right.
But he is very much gotta go right now.
Right. The best exit right now would probably be through the window behind you. But we will get to that point when they decide that they want to throw down. So Yafari's the smuggler here. He doesn't relax when you say he's harmless as a kitten. He says, and you want me to help this barbarian that you're indebted to, or he's indebted to you. What is the goal here? Well, this will cost you quite a bit.
Well, and don't think of it as you're helping him. If it pleases you more, you're helping me, and I will help him. So if that is much more tasteful to you, that by all means, that's really the situation. So, we of course, I'm asking you as a favor from our past that you were such a good friend of my master, and I always enjoyed our visits and learned so much just listening to the two of you talk. I hope that you have some compassion for the situation, but we would also be indebted to you, and would be available for some small service if you needed help with anything.
Hmm.
And I'm cringing inwardly, like, oh, I'm just
shit, this could go south real bad.
I'm making the devil's deal, but
I was
Right.
gonna say it's also, you just said the magic words to a smuggler. I
Oh,
owe
yeah.
you.
Oh my God, yeah, no, this but Gree is a young man. He does not know the way to talk to higher ranking crime lords. No, he oh God. So Yafari simply said, what's to stop me from treating this barbarian and then taking the both of you into slavery?
to be honest, honestly, nothing. You obviously um, have our numbers. We come to you nearly unarmed. We would be at your mercy right now, um, and hopefully you'd find a bigger profit by keeping us alive.
Hmm. All right. All right. Okay. 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 My dice are not being very nice for this interaction. Kind of playing with it. So okay. If I do this thing, you're going to be doing something for me. Plain and simple. And if you don't, there's going to be a bounty on your head, Gree. And
Agreed.
I could make quite a bit of coin selling you back to the Healers Guild by simply telling them where you are.
I understand that. We just need somewhere safe where we can heal him and resupply without having to expose ourselves. so we wouldn't impose upon ourselves any type of lavish accommodations or requests. Your help to us would be bare minimum.
Yafaris takes he looks at one of the officers in the room and he says, "Take the barbarian in the other room and clean him up." He puts his short sword away and he this individual looks at Zarog and he's like, "All right, you come here. I'll have those bandages looked at and get you cleaned up."
All right, he'll hobble along.
He kind of takes Zarok under his arm and kind of helps him through the door. Not like roughly, not like he's like gonna shove you headlong before him. He's like, "All right, this guy's in a pretty bad way. There's really nothing that I could do to him that the indignities that he's already had done to him." That being said, Alex, could you make me another conditioning test here? See, the stress of the situation is kind of a shit show here, and you're starting to fade fast.
Dun, dun, dun.
Please do not fail, Alex. Damn it.
19.
Dice. Oh, yes. All right. That's what we need. That is what we're talking about. Thank you, Alex.
So far, these new die are better.
Don't say that out loud. The dice gods will hear you. So, Zarok leaves the scene to get himself cleaned up. They'll make you take off your armor. They'll make you take off your clothes as a doctor comes in and cleans you, gets you settled and ready. You're given an opium pipe in the other room, and they just say, "You're just gonna sit here and you're gonna smoke this." And there is some point in there where you feel pretty all right. You're feeling good. And the negotiation continues in the other room. Nadim, Misa is still sitting on your shoulders. She gave you back her skewer,
Of course she did.
right?
Nadim likes to use to pick his teeth.
She just sits up there, happy as a clam now that she ate something.
Right. Nadim will pass her up the water skin.
Okay. She spills some on you. God damn it, girl. And this is Yafar is he finally looks over at her and he remarks, "Who does the child belong to?"
That is my friend Nadim's adopted daughter. And
That's a deception test, you liar face.
So in response, Nadim will look at him like, "This one is mine. Take her and I will stab you. Take that as you will."
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, fuck. Deception.
It is deception, but it is fucking truth.
All right. Deception is cunning based, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
okay, so I do have persuasion. So is this a persuadee?
No, you're actively lying. It is a deception test.
Okay. And deception's cunning?
Deception is cunning based. And you can use it untrained. So roll well.
Okay, so 17.
A what?
17.
A 17.
there you go.
Oh. You don't think he didn't buy it? but he kind of just lets it pass for now. He's like, all right. Very kind of like a non-committal, all right, whatever kind of.
And we've
So
been traveling for several days to get to the city, so we are extremely worn out and road weary. So the heat and the bodies from the city, I were missed by me, but at the same time, it's just draining everybody. So I feel much better being in the city with the child, but the child didn't travel well. Hence, we're covered.
that's why her skin is covered up. She didn't travel well.
Yes,
Did the poor thing wilt like a flower?
wilt and burn like a very delicate desert flower.
Hmm. Okay.
But nothing that is too hideous or scarring. It just takes some basic care. So I've been treating her as best I can, but nothing debilitating. So no need to worry there.
It is at this point that Misa realizes that she's being the one talked about. And she says, what, why, what, who's, I'm fine.
Yes, Misa dear, of course you're fine. Thank you. You're a very brave young girl. So I'm trying to force the conversation back to him. Locking eyes. Once again, we throw ourselves upon your mercy. We are really within the rock and hard place, and your kindness was what came to mind when we came upon the city, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to do something for us.
Yafari simply says, my kindness indeed. I have a task for you. If you're going to be in the city for a while, I want you to have a look at something for me. And if you die in the attempt, then so be it, and I can sell your corpse to the university. He says this very nonchalantly, like he's not looking up from his desk. At least half a bounty will be better than no bounty at all. And there's no end to the assassins and other bounty hunters in the city that are looking for people who could have been suspected in your late instructor's murder. As in this one, Misa speaks over, she says, who was murdered?
Hush, child. I'll explain
Gree,
later.
we murdered the mummies in the desert, didn't we?
Yes, we murdered them as we told stories around the campfire. The mummies
Shut up, child.
aren't gonna get you. We'll continue that tale at bedtime, but yes.
Nadim will kind of just pat her knee, shake his head.
And she whispers down to Nadim, she said, tell him about the hag that was gonna eat my eyeballs. And so Yufari looks out and says, what the hell is going on here?
We entertain the child on the road with stories.
That is a deception test, you liar. Come on now.
Narrator's having way too much fun with that line right now.
Oh, geez.
You liar.
That is a 24 on his premonition.
Ooh. No bone.
I got a 12.
Zarak, you hear somebody raise their voice inaudibly somewhere outside the orbit of your opium pipe. You're having a grand old time.
Positively floating.
Sorry, what's that, Gree?
I got a 12 if you needed a reroll.
Oh shit. He says, Gree, who is that child and why is it Gree after her eyeballs?
As I said, we were just telling bedtime stories, campfire stories in order to keep her entertained. And
That is a
we started,
bald-faced lie, young man. Out with it.
well, the truth of the matter is, we came across some
The deem starts
very
inching toward the window.
unnatural.
Prepare to abandon ship.
Not getting my fucking child.
We came across
Misa makes herself very, very small.
some very unnatural situations, and the child was traumatized, and I'm surprised to say that we actually did come across salt mummies, and I say it as a conspiratorial. Maybe the child didn't exactly know what she was seeing, but we had to keep her calm.
He just says mummies in the desert.
Like several, not just one.
I see. Well, what I meant to say until we were interrupted, he actually shoots a look at Misa under her hood there. And again, she tries to make herself very small. He says there's some foolishness going on in one of my districts. There is an individual named Anku that seems to be buying up a very large amount of slaves, and neither he nor any of his attendants will speak about such things, and he pays in platinum for slaves that are not worth much coin at all. I saw him 2 days ago myself walk off with 300 head on a ship upriver towards the inner sea. You're going to go down there, see what you can see, and you bring back whatever information you can. And if you bring me back false information, I shall know about it.
We have no reason to lie to you. We would do this errand happily. So you can have full confidence in us that
Figure out what this individual is up to, and given whatever the hell his other mongrels are up to, why he's purchasing so damn many slaves. And you can probably understand why so many slaves would be suspicious. There are no large civic works in the city that require that many slaves. So where the hell is he bringing them off to? Throwing around quite a bit of money. He's made a few people very wealthy slavers. And you know how I feel about slavers. Slavers should not see a platinum coin. Especially for cannibals and farmers.
Is there a quarry nearby?
yes.
There are a few quarries where stone cutters could be used, but
Is there an empty expanse of land suitable for building something?
Yafaris actually takes a few moments to think about that.
Shrine size.
I don't know what the hell for, but I would guess. He scratches his pharaonic beard and says, "That's interesting." You said an elephant skull shrine?
Yes. With a human sacrifice. And I almost forgot to mention that I moved out of respect the body of the young woman off, and I did feel the presence and the vision of this malicious god that they worship.
Interesting. I suggest you take care of what I have signed you to you. You've got 3 days. You can come back for Zarok in the morning.
Is there any type of provisions or anything that we can have in the meantime?
I'm already
I'm
housing a sick barbarian for you, and you want me to feed you?
we just own what we carry, and if we could just have a safe place to fall back to and a little bit of food that's
By all the gods agree, your luck is the worst. He goes to one of his and get these damn people some clothes and get them out of my house.
thank you. Many thanks.
It is at this point in the conversation that you've just been cursed, verbally cursed, and that scar on your chest pulses.
Ooh.
Make me a life force save.
Ooh.
What is that?
That is if we go into saves, life force is a spirit modifier plus level. Roll me a d8. Just a single actually, excuse me, 2d8 and explodes once.
And against what attribute?
There really isn't one right now. If you fail, and we will see about corruption comes.
Ooh, that's a 14. That one's an 8.
uh
14 plus 7 is 21.
okay. Yeah, that scar on your chest, seemingly signifying or embodying a bad omen in your flesh, pulses. You feel a few moments of sickening oblivion, and then it passes. As you are escorted to the back door again, you are given 3 changes of clothes, a sack of monies, and basically told not to fucking come back. There are 3 changes of clothes for each of you, so 3 people. Zarok is gonna be sleeping off whatever the hell that they just got done doing to him. Sorry, Alex. We're kind of doing Grey's Anatomy via the Bronze Age for you for a few moments, so you might be a little bit out of commission. If you'd like to do a soliloquy here, you absolutely can before we switch scenes.
I don't know. I mean, the Zarok is relieved to have found assistance. He's positively floating on drugs.
The good stuff.
He feels great, but he recalls the pieces of the conversation before he was led away, and a favor owed is a lot more valuable than a couple of slaves. So they ended up taking the probably the riskier bargain, but you know, it was it was the better bargain for their lives. But yeah, he knows that a favor owed is a powerful thing. So
especially amongst your people.
yeah, so he just kind of drifts off thinking about that. He didn't like being called a barbarian, but whatever. I mean, that's what people think about him. He just keeps his mind just foggy, drifting in and out. Just is imagining what that favor might be, and he with the things he has done, he has some bad ideas. His dreams are probably pretty rough tonight. He probably doesn't sleep well, but sleep he does with those fine drugs, and hopefully he feels better in a few days.
So, clothes for the everyday workman of the Yathite culture. Sandals, a tea tunic, broad leather belts, bronze buckles, a dagger for each outfit, a sack of 50 silver coins, and work breeches for each, and a leather apron or what's given to you. And again, a word not to come back until you're finished. And should we discover that you've left with the money and the clothes and not doing what you'd been assigned to do, it is implied that every assassin worth their salt in Tithiolis will know your name.
I don't have any intention of running off with this. That I wait until it's safe to talk to the group and say, I did what I could. I think we got off easy. If we can just gather some information, he's not asking us to collect anything where we have to rob or steal. We don't have to kill anybody. All we're doing is collecting information. I think we got off pretty good. He certainly was generous with his provisions.
Misa speaks up and says, "Those are some nice clothes." He was kind of mean about it, though.
He was mean. And he's just not used to having children around. And so maybe next time we meet with him, we just have to play the quiet game, because we don't want him to take a
Quiet game.
large interest in you. That would best be. It's not something we have to deal with.
I could take my hood off and I could get him, though.
I know. Let's just save that for a last resource. We'll maybe have to have some talk about when that would be okay to do and when it wouldn't. So as of right now, that's not. So that's not okay. So we'll just keep the hood on for now, and we'll be here to protect you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The backpedal, like, no, don't do that.
No, I mean,
Beautiful.
if you think about it, we just essentially smuggled like a nuclear warhead into a city, because
right.
with all the people teaming around, if the gloves come off, oh my God, this would be terrible.
There would be an incident and a half here.
Yeah. And a lot of interesting statues.
Yes, exactly.
There'd be a stone garden.
Oh yeah. A frightfully quiet stone garden.
So I apologize to everyone for the the creative take on the stories, but I did what I could, and there's also a large chunks that I purposely left out of describing to him. So I hope everybody was okay with that.
You still
Especially
said
the part
too
about-
much.
Yeah, right. Nah,
Oh.
Misa technically also wasn't helping, but she and as a child would absolutely not help in a tense situation like that. But no,
Oh.
I think you did a good job, all things considered.
The
Child on
GM
the
starts the GM starts spilling too much. Also, the GM is another character. Oh, really?
Sorry, I had to have the girl punch back. Come on now.
Right.
How do you guys wish to proceed?
Um, did what did they do for you, Zorak? Did they treat your infection, or yeah? I
Oh,
mean,
he's
do we
still
still need
asleep
to?
inside. He's not with you
It's-
guys.
It's
I
just
was
me
gonna
and
say
you, Gree.
I got left
Oh,
behind.
okay.
Yeah.
He is
Oh, I
sleeping
see.
there tonight.
I
Right?
thought they were just like, come here, you just go.
Oh no,
Okay.
you guys were shooed out. There, Zarak is being treated currently.
So, for
Yeah,
clarification, are they doing that task while I am being treated?
They can attempt to do so if they like.
At least the first day.
Okay.
Nadim is Gree, I need a new cloak. I need a new hoodie. I need a new cowl. I have work to do.
all right, let's take care of that. And we can also talk about a plan for I would say initially trying to scout and find this guy. So I guess we're open to suggestions.
There's a small gasp from Misa, and she pats the top of Nadim's. Nadim, can I come with? I want to go to work too.
No. Behave unless you
Aw.
want to walk.
I don't want to walk.
Then please behave.
Okay.
Why she gotta be so adorable?
An
No,
incredibly dangerous, adorable little
right?
monster child.
Gree would have noticed one thing ever since Anku's name got dropped. Nadim has been in complete like work mode face. Like about to just drop off the kid and fucking dip type work face.
And we have some more prawns. Those are really good prawns.
We can't leave her with anyone. I mean, she's got to come with.
Right? Oh, I'm sorry. This is an intrigue foil for the party I wanted to use forever.
She's
I
gonna
mean,
be
I
with you in
can-
this next leg then.
I can be in charge of her if you want to have, I don't know, like your hands free, in case of emergencies. But yeah, we can't. We can't trust her even to stay by herself, much less have somebody watch over her. Maybe when Zarak's better, then we can, have somebody stay back, in somewhere safe and stay with her and watch her. But we can't trust anybody outside of our group.
Narrator,
Yes.
a point. 'Cause I know that last scene kind of went quick. I didn't
Yeah.
really get a chance to talk to him before we got kicked out.
Yes.
Nadim would have inquired about Madroon if he was in town or not.
Yafaris does not know who Meldrun is.
Okay. Simple enough then. Okay.
Your guys do not talk.
Right. Well, I figured with him being a merchant and The other guy being a
oh
smuggler
yeah.
that might have worked. So,
So Yafari's is a smuggler,
Mhm.
uh, but his actual, like, his legit, he I'm winking at the camera here, wink wink, he's a textile merchant, wink wink, and
Mhm.
he specializes in silks from a foreign country, wink wink, but he's a
Silk.
fucking opium smuggler.
Right. Okay, that's fine. And I have no idea where to find this man then either.
You're gonna have to ask around to do your own
Yep.
recon.
Yep.
You
Okay.
guys, just to be the left side of the party's brain here, you also have to find a place that you can hold up,
Yeah,
because you guys are
maybe,
kind of standing out on the street right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Terry, to cut you off.
no, that's a good point. Maybe we find a shelter first, and then we can, talk about how we would, inquire. If this guy is dealing with mass amounts of slaves, number one, that should be big on the street, stories on the street. But secondly, they would 300 slaves would still need to be fed and somewhat kept clean reasonably. So there should be a lot of, people who were supporting this, either by being hired or coerced. But, that's an awful lot of people to move, and so there should be lots of, street stories about that.
You'd think. You'd think. All good points. All real good points.
Um, since Miza mentioned being hungry again, I will look to Gree and said back to the fish market.
Let's go and keep an eye out for, rooms to let and rent. Taverns or inns, whatever the, equivalent of the Aethite, shelter in the city.
Hostel.
Hostels of some kind, yeah.
Damn Tondarans.
Tonedrons. Oh,
Tonedrons, yeah.
you're right. It's just a barracks with smaller rooms. Come on.
Right.
So we reconnoiter to the fish market. We acquire more prawns to feed the child who seemingly is growing.
Right.
She's actually quite light, all things considered. She's pretty petite for what would effectively be a 9-year-old human. You get her prawns. She's happy as a clam. She shuts the hell up.
Right. Is there a merchant who seems to be dealing in bigger stores of food?
Here, yeah. Yeah, there would be.
Okay. I will go talk to them.
He's an older Yathite man, probably in his 60s.
Do you want to pass, Miza off to me, and I'll just take a step back?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
We're just trying to gather information. Well, because you mentioned 300 people, they need a lot of food, don't they?
You'd think,
You
even
think?
if you were just, even if you were just going to give them the minimal amount of portions to keep them alive, because what good is a dead slave? That still is a considerable amount of food for 300 people.
Yeah. So, you say he's an older Yathite?
Yes.
Right.
Mid 60s.
Does it look like he's gotten bought out recently?
No, he still has a pretty good stock.
Huh.
By pretty good, I mean he's still operating today.
Right. He's not bare bones yet.
No. It's still about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
He is sitting in the shade, smoking an opium pipe here, as you would assume, maybe like his granddaughters are helping him. They're dealing with some customers, but he's sitting nearby, like supervising.
Mm-hmm. Nadim, keep in mind, Nadim says Misa up on his shoulders, but
Oh yeah, she hasn't moved. And
right.
she's still eating her prawns.
Nom nom nom. Um, no, Nadim will go over and almost, which is gonna be really uncharacteristic for him, but almost jovially, how's business lately?
Oh well, we're doing well. He monitors a what kind of looks like a small oven that's been it looks like it's baking round loaves of like brick bread nearby as he's talking to you. We're still operating here. The coin is going in. My beautiful granddaughters are seeing to the other customers. We are doing well.
Good, good. Uh, I've been hearing some rumors, as the rumor mill will go. Uh,
Oh,
and I was just wondering how you all were doing on this because I heard that someone is moving a lot of bodies, so I was wondering if the food was to follow.
Misa drops her prawn. She says, "Oh no, my prawn!" And it falls in the sand. And oh,
I'll get you another one. You're fine. You just fed the animals. They'll be okay.
okay.
Kids.
So the old man, he's looking at the thoroughly obscured child, and he looks at the prawn in the sand, and he looks back at Nadim. I heard that someone was purchasing a lot of slaves, which is strange because there are no large civic structures being built. There are no statues being put up, no monuments. The temples are immaculate as they are. There, I should not say there are no civic structures. There has been rumors saying that a new temple of Ereshkigal is being placed somewhere towards the middle quarter, and they have staked out the foundation for such a thing. But there, there's simply artisans over there, and then they're architects is staking things out there, taking measurements. But no slaves have been purchased. The stone, the marble, hasn't even been cut for such a thing. It's too early. This will take months for this to even be finished. I understand. Why would slaves be purchased now? There's all these mouths to feed and no work to be done yet. It's too early. It's far too early. No, an individual in a black hood with a red sash came to me and he bought bread, bread and grain 2 days ago, and I had to close shop. And this is the first time we've been back because I had to go back to the granary and get more. Clearly, this old man talks to no one, and you're the telemarketer trying to get off the phone with him as this old man doesn't shut the hell up. So,
Thank you, connection being made.
exact. So this guy, he's we've been back 2 days, just not today now. I had to make a trip to the granary. I had to pay an advance from my grain stores, and we've been making bread since before sunup. He's selling bread. And this individual comes and buys a half a platinum of grain and other things, completely cleaned me out, didn't say a word to me, threw his gold at my feet, and took what he wanted.
Who deals in platinum? That's too much. You can't
The
deal in
nobility
platinum.
does.
Oh,
I've
who
never seen a
can?
platinum coin before the other day.
The nobility, they're always full of themselves anyway.
And there are no priests around here that deal in such large coins. I have seen gold bullion in my life from my adventuring days and my pirating days, but I've myself not. No, I'm retired. And one of his daughters shoots him a dirty look, talking about her grandpa's filthy fucking past.
I hope you're fucking retired.
I didn't do anything, and he says,
With-
"I apologize. I'm talking your ear off, young man. Let me." He gets up finally, comes over. He gets some rolls. He puts some rolls into a cloth, and he rolls it up, and he gives some bread rolls to Misa, and she, oh, bread. And she takes the bread, and with her fucking olive green brown skin takes in her tiny hand,
Right.
she breaks some bread, and she stuffs it into the voluminous hood that she's obscuring herself with, and she can't really obscure her hands. Clearly she's not a fucking human, but she
I
doesn't
gotta
have
get her some
claws or
gloves.
anything. Yeah, right. She doesn't have claws or anything, but yet she doesn't have claws yet, I should say.
Right.
Excuse me.
Right.
And no, so this old man gives Misa some bread, and he goes back and sits back down.
How
And
much is your bread? I
our
might need a few loaves.
a loaf of bread, just 4 coin, or just four for you and the child, 4.
Because me and a couple of friends, we are needing to find lodgings, and we also would need some food to go with it. So remind me if you I will be passing through here again. I will have to buy a few loaves of bread for you to take with. You mentioned seeing weird like gold bullion and weird coins in your past, yes?
I could have been. He kind of gives you the bombastic side eye.
Right. I will take out one of the octagonal gold coins. And
Yeah.
have you ever seen one of these?
He gets up, fucking wobbly leg. Now, this guy's rheumatism, he has rheumatism
It's
upon
like
his
which
rheumatism.
like Nadim will like offer a hand and like help him up and steady him and everything.
Fucking his knuckles are knobby. He is so old. He's gonna die tomorrow. He's so old.
Right.
He comes over and he offered the coin. He takes the coin. He goes, oh. Does the fucking old pirate have academics or esoteric lore? Does the
I would hope
pirate,
so.
like, oh shit, because he's so damn old.
Like
Uh,
just by osmosis, you figured he would.
the shit I've seen, young man. Yeah, right. That's how this guy is.
9 ranks in academics just based off of life experience. Boom.
You fuck. He goes, I was a corsair that pillaged the triangle from Soltage to Hanoptra and then down to the Fire Coast south of here when I was young. That was 33 years ago. And I've seen shit, young man. I have seen shit that you would never believe. I remember in an island, we were in a temple, some abandoned temple to some horrible god somewhere forgotten by civilized people nowadays. Had similar coins with bat skulls on them as opposed to whatever these are. My eyes are not so good. But the bat faces didn't have a hole in them. Maybe they come from a similar era, but we had a magician in our group that said these were some thousand cycles old anyway. I am not a sage. I simply stuck a dagger in someone's kidney and I got paid. and I stuck daggers in kidneys until I got me a ship. I found me a wife, and I retired to Tithiolus.
You can keep that.
Oh, you think so? Oh.
What is your name, sir?
Norhep, Norhep.
Norhep, I am Nadim. This is Gree, and the little one who is enjoying your bread so much is Misa.
In a chirpy yet tiny voice, she says, "Good morning." And then Norhep says, "Good morning, little one. I hope you like the bread." He sits down in his chair again, his grandpa chair. He takes a long drag off of his opium pipe, which you kind of get the feeling that he can't operate with
Without
the
it.
arthritis in his knees without his opium. And he squeezes that coin in his fist, and there's this almost like you get the you see it. Okay, Nadim sees it. This old man becomes a 20-year-old as he gets his grit back when he has that coin in his hand, almost like the young Conan pillage. Like I'm here to fuck and stab and pillage things again. Washes over him the euphoria of it, and he goes, "I miss those days, but it hurts to move. I hope Ereshkigal takes me in my sleep soon. I thank you." And he flips the coin. He flips it with his thumb, and it makes this ping sound, and he catches it again with some adroitness you didn't realize this guy could possess. And he catches it. He takes a long drag off his pipe again. He goes, "You come back to me when you have more stories. I might have some more dirt for you."
All right, Norhep. I will be back. We gotta get some of that bread anyway before we settle down for the day. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Do we want to use this opportunity, since you essentially just gave him a goal, just to say we need information about Ankh, and if he could put out his legitimate business feelers to see if we can share that name with him?
I'll let you guys discuss that.
So basically, Terry, if I'm hearing you right, you want me to ask Norhep if he can reach out for any more information on the grand movement of slaves and food. Yes?
Well, and specifically, the name that the fairies gave us was Ankh.
Uh-huh. But if you notice, Nadim is trying to not name drop. There's purpose behind that.
That we could look upon the generosity and friendship that we just made this connection with, and see if there's any way that we could use his network to help us out.
Yeah. No,
this is your world. I'm just here.
you're just passing by. No, and actually I was gonna kind of roll into that. Yeah, as Norhep is kind of reminiscing there and reliving his glory days. And Nadim's just smiling about it, knowing that he made that happen for the old man. I mean, he might be a bastard and want to kill people, but he just made someone like truly happy, and that would give anyone kind of like a good feeling, I would think.
You saw an old timer turn into a young man again, and you get this feeling that washes over you guys. You and Gree, like if this guy was like 35 years younger, he'd want to come with.
Right.
Like not even to be paid, not to be a mercenary, but to
Just
have
the
yet another
adventure.
adventure. Yeah, right.
Right. But yeah, no. As he's doing that, the dean will actually give a small bow to Norhep as they get ready to part and be like, if you hear anything else about uh large movements such as those that we talked about, please let me know when I see you again.
If that son of a bitch in the red comes by, do you want me to send one of my daughters out see to tell you?
Sure. Though you would need a spot to send her. Do you have any suggestions on a place to stay?
Are you thieves? He says very fucking bluntly, out loud.
The dean will look at him and just go,
He, he smiles wide.
allegedly.
His teeth very white and still perfect and strong. He smiles wide behind his salt and pepper beard and he goes, "Go to the Split Quill. I send one of my girls over there for you.
Split quill. All right.
It's a nicer place. You probably have the money to pay for a room. It has locked doors and rentable keys."
Ooh. Locked doors in this day and age? That's a luxury.
I know. A locked door keeps an honest person out, and he touches his nose.
It's a pleasure, Norhep. May fortune smile down on you and may Areskul give you another day.
No, I want her to take me soon as she can. My knees hurt. I need to pick a fight with some thief in an alleyway, and if he get me that way, yeah. Let me stick a dagger in his eye. And one of the girls says, "Grandpa, settle down."
Make sure you get him in the kidney.
Oh, when the eye and then the kidney, and I'll throw him to the crocodiles.
Nadim will bow as he's like reminiscing to himself and kind of just slowly leave the old man to his mutterings.
Little bit of senility. A little bit of senility. He also got an adrenaline pump from the reminiscing, though. But so he's not going to have a heart attack. But no, he wants to. Oh fuck, he wants to so bad.
And Nadim will turn back to Gray with a smile as they move through the market. Like, look, information, lodgings, and food.
You may add Norhep to your contacts, by the way, Nadim.
Nice. Networking, it's a wonderful thing.
Hell yeah, man. But no, where do you guys go now?
I still need more fabric, so I'm gonna look degree and where is I guess a better of the tailors or even the ones that work the docks because you know their fabric is going to be worth it. I would ask you for the job, Gree, but we don't have the time.
I think that we're pretty close to a large marketplace if we just keep going this way.
You can go down to like the next high. Yeah, they're kind of crescent shaped. The smaller dock areas are kind of crescent shaped, so you kind of like hop from one star point to the next, and you'll kind of make a half circle around the wider the dock area.
Also,
harbor area, excuse me.
Also, I'll ask Gree if he knows if there's any stone cutters close by.
Is that something I would know?
I don't think you would, honestly, given your your background and the people that you would associate with.
I can ask the next person. Then we'll play hopscotch with this. Nadim is like, all right. The girl is happy eating. Nadim is like happy doing this right now. Like half of it's the killing part, but the other half is the information gleaning.
The thrill of the hunt is on you now.
right? Like he's almost bouncing on his heels as we do this.
Nadine, we need more prawns. I dropped my prawn.
Ah, that's right. You need more prawns, little one. As we go through the market toward the other one, I will buy her another skewer of prawns.
Now, keep in mind, she was on the last one on that one skewer, and she's asking for more. She's ate like 14 prawns now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She was also starving for like 2 chains, so
And it keeps her quiet while the adults work.
right,
Immobilize her, shut her up with some food.
right, works wonders.
Uh, so you get into the next section of the harbor here, and this place stinks. Plain and simple. This is where they keep the slaves. There's slave pens, animal pens. This ain't a great place to be. Uh, you can kind of feel the fucking sadness and misery rolling off of people here. Uh, couple slave owners. By slave owners, I mean soldiers who have gone on campaign recently and have taken conquered peoples as slaves are going through a merchant as a broker to sell said stock. Some people don't actually pay the money to feed, clothe, and or medicate some of their, I'm using air quotes here, wares properly. So you guys just naturally gravitate away from the reeking ones. And unfortunately, this is the portion of the harbor marketplace that has more faces, cultures, and peoples in it that than that would be in the wider city. It's primarily a Yath city, um, but there are foreigners here. There are the words I'm going to use are there's actually white people here. Given how you guys are all natives and you would be very dark bronze skinned individuals, seeing someone who's actually pale, like to your eye, your character's eyes, pale as snow, uh, would be something alien or beautiful or just plain weird. And someone with eyes that were not brown or hazel is also kind of fucking weird. Uh, there are Igneads here, the Fire Fae, from the Fire Coast that Norhep spoke about. Some of them are slaves, some of them are slavers themselves. There is an individual here. It's a little bit more prominent, and he actually is a foreigner. He's actually white-skinned, black hair, and when you do catch his gaze, he actually has pale sky blue eyes, like a cat's. And I'll tell you, as natives, that his eye color makes you very uncomfortable. And you don't feel like you can trust this guy, but he's dealing with a lot of people all at once. He's taking like appointments here, appointments there. You don't see any of the suspiciously dressed individuals that Norhep spoke about currently, but it's kind of this cacophonous din of I don't want to be here. How do you guys wish to proceed?
Well, Nadim will actually put one hand up on her like knee one, to kind of steady her, and two, to make sure she doesn't go anywhere. Nadim's a lot of things. Nadim does not like slaves, so he is also keeping himself in check.
Make me a self-control test.
Oh, gee, this could go bad.
It's gonna be very fucking bad.
This could be very bad. Well, I rolled it. Well, I got an 8, so I exploded once at least. 15, 21.
Yeah, you're able to keep it together, but Misa asks, Nadim, why are these people in cages?
Because other people think that they own them. Kind of like when those other ones had you in a cage.
Why?
Yeah, except to like take a breath before he says something stupid.
I am about to open a can of worms through a little girl. Alrighty.
And like keep like, as much as he knows, they probably need to talk to a couple of these people about like the mass slave buyouts. He really doesn't want to, because one, he doesn't want to be here, and two, he knows they're probably going to be tight-lipped anyway, unless they're really fucking desperate. But he's gonna breathe. He's gonna squeeze her knee, and he's just gonna say, because they think that others are beneath them, little one. They are but animals to be reined and controlled. And no, you cannot take off the hood and get them. Not yet.
Oh, I didn't want to get anybody.
Good. Because I kind of do.
Well, we shouldn't stay here for very long because it stinks.
I know.
Was that chuckle in character, Gree?
Yeah.
It stinks.
It does stink.
You know
Yeah.
how very blunt that child is.
It's absolutely right.
It is. Yes, little one. Yes, it does. Great. Where's that Taylor? Is it through here?
Yeah, let's just keep going up this way and
Like
and
Nadim, of course, very much, of course, has his head on the swivel. The foreigner with the cat eyes,
Yep.
he probably will catch his gaze. Not going to say anything, but they definitely will catch each other. Something about that one.
His gaze somewhat lingers on you as he's kind of half people watching, and then like he's like, all right, well, where's the fucking like you see the many thoughts go across his face. All right, these people are customers here. All right, faces, who is like, who the fuck does these people want? Oh, I have this appointment over here. Just it kind of like goes through the Rolodex of expressions and thoughts that you see in his eyes, like he's over it today and he doesn't want to be here.
Right.
But it's like,
does he look like
he has to be here? You don't.
Right. Does he look like he's been cleaned out of stock, so to speak?
Hell no.
No? Okay.
Or you really can't tell what is his or if he's a broker or not.
Fair enough.
Because if you wanna like a number, I won't give you like a solid number, but there's a few thousand bodies here that could be sold for such a thing.
Okay.
Cages and pens and such like.
Yeah. Nadim, like I said, Nadim knows he needs to question, but not with her on her shoulders, and not right now. It would not go well.
All right.
So yeah,
as Gree sees him kind of doing the struggle, this internal monologue, I'm going to very gently put my hands on the back of his shoulders and just kind of like guide him through, saying,
keep walking.
We need to get you. we need to get you covered.
Keep walking.
and
Keep
going,
walking.
buddy.
There's a
And I'm gonna
small
try to-
gasp from Misa. I know him. Madragon! She said, she yells. And then she kind of like squeak yells this individual's name. And someone in the crowd like freezes and then turns. Like this is like Hood. Or just like, and he turns to look at you guys, and you see that pale mask that doesn't have much features on it. And he starts moving through the crowd towards you guys very, very quickly.
And Nadim is getting away from the crowd, so for when he does get caught up to, not gonna be as big of a scene.
I'm following the Dean.
Okay.
Like Nadim's prepping for this conversation already, so
This might suck.
this is gonna suck.
You for
If
the
there's like a
sake of you guys saving face, I'm gonna say you guys duck into an alleyway.
I was gonna say if there's like a shadowy alley we could duck into. Like this guy has our number. He's gonna follow us. I know that much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So out of the way, out of the light.
You guys get into the alley. Moments later, this guy appears at the end of the alleyway.
Go ahead,
And
little one. You know him.
and in a sibilant serpentine like a harsh whisper or a rasp. He says something in a language that you don't understand. And Misa, with a much more feminine, a small childlike version of this same foreign language, replies to him. And she pats Nadim on the top of his head. She says, Nadim, put me down. I want to go give him a hug.
All right. Nadim will put her down.
And the
Make sure you bunch up the cloak so you can run.
She she bunches it up. She kind of like a lady would run in a skirt. She lifts it up, and she the little Jawa that she is goes over to him, and he scoops her up.
Green is gonna avert his eyes before the hugging starts, because I don't know what this is gonna entail exactly. So I'm not watching.
Okay, perfect. And no, he scoops her up and he gives her a squeeze, and they, what sounds to your guys' ears, start hissing at each other. I really don't know how to describe it any more than that. Hissing with tonality and punctuation, if that makes any sense. Like in the theater, you're in the theater of the mind there. And that mask, she reaches out from under her cloak, and she puts her small hands like on like where his face would be on the mask, like on his cheeks. She said, take his mask off. She doesn't take it off, but she puts her hands on like where his face would be, and she says something, and they converse for a few moments, and she hugs him again, and he returns the embrace, and he sets her down. And this is where the shit happens. He speaks the Yaith tongue with a strange, again, a serpentine accent, and he actually growls at you guys. He goes, "Where is her mask?"
She told me a hag has it. That's why she's wearing my hood.
And he asks her again in their serpentine language, and she obviously would confirm in some form or fashion. And he says, "Hey, did you take care of this hag?"
We haven't found it yet. One of our friends was deathly ill, and we had to come here first.
We are also looking to return her to her parents. So this is just a temporary situation of protection.
How many are you?
3.
And where is the third? He's the deathly ill one.
Yes.
He's being healed right now.
Misa looks up at him from under her cloak, and she hisses something rather excitedly and insistently. And he kind of gives her like this non-committal like hiss reply. And again, the adults are talking. And he says, "When do you plan to return her to her parents?"
Honestly, whenever we find them, because we were told that they have moved and we were on our way to their last known location. Do you know where they are?
They've moved twice. Misa says something, and he just holds his finger up to her like, "Shut the fuck up, child."
We're
He
talking.
doesn't say anything, but he just holds his finger up, and she shuts the fuck up quick.
We found her in a crypt, hiding in a sarcophagi after she escaped from some cannibals. I do not know for certain how far away from the hag or her family she was to begin with, nor do I know how far the cannibals were from either of them either. So we are doing the best we can.
He says something to confirm with her. She, you assume, replies in the affirmative. Very, very obedient child with one of her, the adults of her people are here. And he simply says it would not look good or favorably on me if I brought her back, though I could probably find them quicker than you could. But I will tell you, if her parents find out that foreigners took her, it would not look favorable on anyone in this city.
Well, so far, except for us and you, no one knows what she is, and we intend to keep it that way.
She needs a mask.
It's going to be the next step after going to the tailor. Actually, Gree, is there a woodworker in town? I assume there is.
I assume there is. Once we get
Not
to the
just any
marketplace,
mask will do. Where are you staying?
We were told to go
We
to
haven't
the
got-
Split Quill,
but we haven't
Oh,
got
that's a
room
nice
yet.
enough place.
right? We have not gone there yet. I was speaking with Norhep, and he suggested it.
I know who Norhep is.
Do you happen to know who Maldrun is?
I know Meldrun.
Is he here?
He is. I don't know
to,
where right now, but he's in the city.
I'll have to speak to him later on. I have some. Well, you might already know this. I have some more information on Anku.
There's about 9 other individuals after his head. You're going to have to move very quickly.
I know. But we heard that he bought 300
500
slaves.
gold bullion for it too. That's an expensive scalp.
was hoping to take him alive to get to 2,000.
Well, I don't need the work right now. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, we heard through an air that he bought 300 slaves all at once.
Yes, he's taking them up river.
Trying to build a shrine, isn't he?
Something to that effect.
Yeah. Can't
No
bode
one
well
knows
for anyone.
where.
But yes. We have to deal with him due to a favor that Gree here agreed to. And then we are going to try to find her parents. Well, the hag first if we cross her to kill her, and then her parents.
Mm.
Or, I mean, we could always take her back to her parents and kill the hag afterwards. Either way works for me.
It would seem that the male Gorgon there just nods and doesn't say anything. Misa squeaks something at him, and then he holds his finger up again.
But yes, if you could track down her parents while we were trying to do this, it would be appreciated.
She's going to need a modified mask. I can find somebody,
Would you
and
like?
I'll send them to the Split Quill.
Well, at least we have money on us. 'Cause I'm guessing those masks aren't cheap.
No, they're not.
That's fine. The price you pay for anonymity. Anonymity. You can never say that word.
Madryden takes a knee and he hugs Misa again, and he hisses something at her, and she replies, and then she goes and stands back next to Nadim, and you watch this happen. He takes a few steps out into like the current of the traffic, the walk, the walkers, the pedestrians out in the road, and he fucking disappears. Like creepily. It's like that scene at the end of Hannibal Lecter where the fucking camera is going up and we're like, oh, well, there's fucking Hopkins right there, and he's just walking off down the street, and there's this point where the camera pans out far enough and you're like, where the hell is he? And that sense of holy shit, we don't see him anymore, and the panic sets in. That's right there.
Yeah. And which was like Nadia just watching, like, I need to learn how to do that. All right, little one, back up on my shoulders.
Misa, who was that exactly?
He's a friend of my tribe's. He um he kills people for money. Mostly humans.
Interesting man to me.
Yeah. Nadim just starts walking off again toward where this tailor's supposed to be.
Like that's not incriminating at all. And we have a fucking child that could be. You get the feeling that if Madryden wanted, he'd fucking take her right there and just deposit her back with her fucking family. But for whatever reason, it probably might haunt you until the end of your character's lives. The fact, why did he not?
I mean, he did say something about how it wouldn't be good if he returned her, so at least Nadim's assuming something went awry.
Maybe, maybe not.
Nadine,
So,
I've got a question for you. When the two of you were talking, and you were talking about the slaver who we're supposed to be getting information on, you kind of made it sound like you knew him already. It's,
How much can you keep your mouth shut, Gree?
well, to keep us alive, yeah,
Because if you don't, it might get us killed.
understood.
You know how Miza just said what he does?
Kills people.
Yes.
and Misa says for money,
Yes.
lots and lots of money.
Yes. I'm not going to say it out loud, Gree.
Oh. So this is really a two birds with one stone kind of deal for you.
It is. That's why I need to get a cloak and hood again.
But we're supposed to get information about this guy back to the parties. Is that gonna conflict somehow with what you need to do?
We got information. He's dead. Simple enough, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Especially because he's already making a mess of the market. And when the merchants get pissed off, no one's happy.
Never piss off supply,
Ever.
ever. So,
Well,
Alex, how you doing over there with Zorak?
He is knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, he's boy, he's resting hard.
Dreaming of buxom Talishite women and feeding you grapes.
Is this I mean, this is the same day, right?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
you've been asleep for maybe a couple hours right now.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like not even afternoon yet. Like we're still like we got hours left.
yeah, probably out cold. In between kind of foreboding thoughts of what the favor might be. He'll probably have some flashbacks, some memories bubble up of his tribe. He'll probably see his wife flash in and out of his memory. His daughter. It'll probably get deeper in the night. He'll, depending on how strong the drugs are, he might have a little thrashing moment. The dreams will probably flash to corpses in the sand. Burned tents. And then a lone man riding off into the desert. It's a shield on his back, spear at his side.
So we reconnoiter to the split quill. We will fast forward to that evening. You've acquired the textiles you need to regain your anonymity.
I also would have gotten a pair of gloves
Okay.
for Miza.
I don't think they have gloves small enough for her at this time.
No?
No, she's tiny.
Okay.
No.
Well, at least like some sort of I'll probably use spare fabric, just get her like wrappings.
Okay.
But
Now,
anyway,
sometime around that dinner, you've paid for your room. You've bought food. Misa sits on one of the beds there, eating some of her bread from earlier that day. Happy as a clam, as she's just having essentially her vacation. Or she's going on a field trip with a few strangers that treat her nicely. When there's a knock at the door, and one of you answers the door, we'll say, and Ladryden is there at the other on the other side of the door, and he hands without saying anything, he hands a featureless white mask through the crack in the door, and he says again in Yaith, as he with his strange accent, he says, "I was able to find one in her size, or at least she'll be able to grow into this one. It won't be so loose on her." And I'll say Gree is the one who probably answered the door, and he presses a mask with a cloth backing on the inside into your hands. And when you actually take the mask from him, he leaves. Doesn't say anything. He just leaves.
okay. You're muted.
You're muted.
I said, and he's gone. So I will hand the mask off to her and Nadine. A gift, per se.
Oh, sorry, Terry. What did you say? You seemed a little rather quiet there.
Sorry. I hand it off and say he's gone. But I pass the mask on and say, I guess it's a gift from him. He didn't ask for anything.
Who do you give the mask to?
I hand it to Nadine, just right behind me. Just kind of keep an eye still on the door.
Yep. The dean will
I'll relock.
right, yeah, relock that damn thing. The dean will look at Misa, hand the mask off to her, and then promptly look down and cover his eyes. Because he's assuming she's gonna put it on.
Yeah, she takes it from you. And she's pretty quick to take the cloak off and put the mask on. And you can tell by the difference, the tone in her voice, that she's put the thing on. And when you guys do look back at her, she's wearing a mask that is slightly too big for her. She's not wearing the cloak, and her snakes are looking about as they would be wont to do, and she's got the cloak around her like almost like a shawl. She's still wearing some of the blood spattered tattered white dress that she had on before, but she kind of peps up with the mask on now. She doesn't hunch down. She actually stands up a little bit straighter. And her snakes are a bit more lively, we'll say. She does, however, kind of like she keeps the mask on, but she like kinks it up, like up slightly on her forehead, so like she can hand like food to her mouth underneath the mask, so you don't have to take it off.
Hmm.
But oh, she with the mask on, it seems like a more or less a night and day kind of thing. Like she has part of her being back. And it dawns on you guys that they probably put these masks on these kids really young, and it's kind of like a kind of functions as a comfort blanket type of psychological crutch uh,
Makes sense.
for them.
Liza, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
When you're around your own people, do you have to worry about the making eye contact and being without your masks around your own people?
No, we only wear masks when we're dealing with foreigners.
Ah,
Sometimes my mother does not wear her mask when she's dealing with foreigners because she can control whether or not she petrifies someone.
oh,
That's
M-
not frightening at all.
Madryden can do it too. Quite a few of my people can control whether or not they can. Uh, I can't yet.
well, hopefully that's a skill that's you'll gain someday. Please.
Please. She He's like, I hope so.
All right, Nadine, what's the plan?
Plan is I need to find Maldroon, see if he has any information. Otherwise, we just need to strike out because we're already 2 days behind. We have a general. Why did I sound so low? We have a general consensus on a direction at least. And I've heard tell of both the shrine making and the quarry using. So I think we just need to strike out and hope for the best at this point. Because
Would
Madrizen
it
said,
make would it make sense if Misa and I stay in the room and let her rest, and I could watch her if you want to go out and do some scouting?
that's yes, that would be best.
You think I would need to stay up as well, or would I be able to rest here safely?
Lock the doors. Don't unlock them for anybody. Have an escape route just in case. You should be able to rest. I assume Norhep gave us this location knowing what we are. So I would assume it's at least somewhat safe.
I could always lock the door and move a bedroll so I could sleep in front of it.
Do we have chairs in here?
Only one for the
That's all.
desk.
That's all you need. Put the chair up underneath the doorknob
Okay.
or whatever serves for a latch. I suppose I don't know if it's actual doorknob or not.
Nah, there'd be a
Mhm.
latch.
It it's been a long day for all of us, and if we can get some rest while you go out by yourself, then that might just be a good thing.
Right. Yeah. So you said it was evening, right? So we've eaten and stuff already.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Um, like every time that Nadim looks at her now, he just kind of like smiles because she's got part of herself back. And he'll look to her and say, just keep the cloak for when you need it. And hopefully we'll get you home soon.
He doesn't say anything, but you kind of you assume that she uh understands.
All right. You need anything else, Gree? Because I'm gonna start moving.
Uh, if you, narrator, would a saber be, legal to carry in town?
It's longer than your forearm. So
Okay.
no.
Never mind. As long
Also, speaking of swords, I seem to remember a sword being pillaged from a certain tomb that we have not taken account of
That's in
since.
that's in one of the bags, along with the other stuff I took from the tomb.
Okay.
If we hadn't been given the job and I was not on a time crunch, I was going to take that and the scepter and the mantle to a shrine to see if we can get it identified. But we do not have time for that tonight.
Oh yeah. You've been given 72 hours to do a job.
Yep. And I got other people trying to take care of the job for me. I don't want anyone to take care of my job. It's my job.
All right.
But yes, no, I did not forget about the saber myself, narrator. It's just
All
we have
right.
not had the time to go there.
I have so many working parts in this adventure. You guys have no idea.
Right? I bet you do. All right.
might wanna leave your bag of our party's bag of goodies here, just in case you get stopped. You're not gonna want to have any
Oh,
of that
the
on you.
well, I was going to get to
You
that
mean the
here in a
loot
second.
bag? Wink,
Yeah,
wink.
the
Um,
loot bag.
The only thing the Deem is taking with him is his weaponry, his clothing, and basically 3 days worth of rations. Everything else stays behind. So yes, so the loot bag, the food, the provisions, that all stays with you. Oh, narrator, what kind of daggers did we get with those outfits, by the way?
Bronze ones.
Okay.
Daggers.
And we got 3 outfits apiece, right? Or was it just 3 outfits total?
Three outfits total. They give you a change of clothes.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. So yeah, unless Gree or Miza wants anything from him, he is going to dip out the door.
nope.
Uh,
Go on.
You get to the
I got
door.
this.
What's sorry, Terry?
Oh, I was gonna say, nope. We've got this. You go do your killing. We'll stay here.
You
Good
get
luck with the killing.
so Nadim gets to the door and Amiza just gets up like she's fucking coming with.
Miza, you have to stay here, little one.
I want to come,
No, I
I'm
have to work.
I'm staying back too.
but we.
Did you go with Madrizen when he went to go to work?
That was different.
No, it's not. I'm
Uh,
going to do the same type of work.
why? So,
No.
please.
No, stay here with Gree.
I can help.
How are you going to help?
There is some dead silence, like it's obvious.
You're not going to get him. That's my job.
It dawns on you that giving her mask back was probably the worst fucking thing. She's a very willful child.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want me to get paid before you do.
You did not have this job.
Whack right in the kidneys. Yeah.
You did not have this job, little one. You were not. No.
I could.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Because here's the other thing. Because if you get him before me, you don't get paid as much. If I take him the way I want to, I'm getting 4 times what Madrizin said. I'll give you some of it so you can get as many prawns as you want. You can eat prawns until you explode.
You can't tell, but behind her mask, you get this feeling that's like she is strongly considering that.
We can also go back to Norhab and you can probably buy all the rolls you want from him. Heck, you could probably tell him sort of he'll just give you all the rolls you want. But you have to stay here.
How many prawns?
We could probably buy the stall when we're done.
I don't want the stall, I want the prawns.
Yes, but we can buy all the prawns he has.
That's a lot of prawns.
That is a lot of prawns. Heck, little one, we could probably buy the ship that has the crew that gets the prawns and just have them brought directly to us. But you have to stay here.
You stay back with me and we'll be fine. It'll just be a little wait. We'll get some rest.
When we go back to Caesar Rock tomorrow, or when you and Greg go Caesar Rock, you guys can get prawns on the way too.
This image of, again, a breathtaking young Gorgon woman that this girl will hopefully age into someday. We hope that she has a husband who's a bitch because she can boss him around.
Stay here. I'll hopefully be back in the morning and we can get you some more prawns.
She crosses her arms. You better.
Or
Prawns
what?
for breakfast.
I might get you.
Well, if I'm not here, you can't get me now, can you?
She gives you a hug and then she goes back and sits down on the bed.
He hugs her back and then he leaves. Kids.
Doesn't Nadim want like 8 of them?
Have kids, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
Hell no.
Just stabbed at people in the kidney.
You're right.
Fucking Norhab, that's every time I'm gonna stab him in the kidney. Thank you, Norhab. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This is for Norhab. Kidney shot.
Swack. Oh.
Eye shot.
No,
It's the Norhab special.
Yeah.
Eye to kidney.
Now, it's cooled off quite a bit as you get outside. Nadim, you get outside and you can smell like a tropical storm coming in, possibly here within the next couple hours. Wind is blowing inland. And we will go here for closing soliloquies tonight. We'll pick up the session next week as Nadim will be out on his job. So, closing soliloquies from Nadim.
he's in work mode now. Once he actually shuts that door and Gree and Misa are on the other side, that like light-hearted paternal brother energy, like fucking gone. He is 100% in work mode. His mind is basically going on like where he needs to go to find Madroon, because he's assuming Madroon might have the best cache information on where to find Anku, especially considering the fact that this man's leaving a trail. He doesn't really have time for social niceties. He doesn't really have time for, extended conversations. He needs to get information and get out of town. And like he was completely honest with Misa. Like he fully intends that when he gets back, if he gets the money he's promised, he's gonna buy her prawns until she explodes. He
Attaboy.
he absolutely wants to spoil the shit out of her. Because especially with meeting the other Gorgon and knowing that he could find her parents and she could be gone as early as tomorrow, actually makes him sad. He knows she is not his, but my God, she is his. So it's gonna suck when she actually goes home, because he's grown to like her company. But he also kind of shoves that down because he has a job, and potentially that job could lead to the hag. And ooh, he wants to kill that hag something fierce because she threatened his child. And he wants to get back her original mask. Like that's just without saying. So yeah, probably the last we see in Nadim tonight is him moving downstairs and get ready to ply people for information.
Terry, closing soliloquies there. You're
Well,
you're placed on babysitting duty, my friend. I apologize.
that's all right. I will dig out the doll and build her up a nest to sleep in on the bed, and then maybe take some of the changes of clothes and make myself like impromptu bedroll, and I'll sleep down on the floor right up next to the door, which is locked. So if anybody were to try to come in, at least I would be able to feel the door be moved ajar.
And it opens into the room, so if you are sleeping in front of the door, you're gonna get bumped. It's gonna wake you up automatically.
Yep.
So
Yep.
for security purposes, for your part of the scene, go for it.
So and also not really sure how sleeping arrangements work with Gorgons. I don't want to accidentally like wake up face to face with her. So I'm on the other side of the room on the floor up next to the door. As he's settling in, he gets her settled in. He's settling in because he could really use the rest. So that was kind of nice that he was able to relieve the burden, so Nadim could do his thing, but still kind of be self-serving and get some rest. I feel pretty happy with making contact. I know that Zorak is getting medical care for his infection, and at this point, I gotta trust that he's not, being tortured or anything. But your fairies is a man of his word. I feel like, hopefully. So
I'm sorry, Terry. I gotta put myself on mute. That's funny.
So I have to trust that we're still doing the right thing and that we just didn't turn our companion over to be tortured. And I feel a little proud of myself that as a young adult, kind of improvising the the stories with your fairies that I think I did okay. And although I got a stuck with the favor, I really think it could have been a lot worse. So the only thing I'm nervous about now is that Nadine wants to go kill the guy that we're supposed to get information on. So I don't know if that was in the grand scheme of things for the fairies or not. So that's got me a little anxious. But otherwise, it was a pretty eventful day and a half, and it is wonderful being back in the city and eating kebabs. That was wonderful.
So we go to Zarok's fitful evening of rest. Distantly, he feels that his companions kind of need him, but it is what it is. He is not in a shape or form to help anyone but himself right now. You faintly smell the perfumes of incense, the sickeningly sweet perfumes of opium, scented oils. It's going to sound rather girly, but blue lotus, chamomile, and lavender scented oils here. Sometime in the operation, they gave you a bath. You're naked. You're on a basically what serves as a cot. Your eyes flutter open slightly to figure out, all right, I'm here. I'm not dead. I'm saying, but and this was the haze and the smoke, and you drift back into the opioid dreamscape. Let's have a closing soliloquy of images and emotions from Zarok.
During that brief awakened period, where his eyes flutter open, he starts mumbling a little bit, and it's too quiet, and it's in Talishite, so unless they speak Talishite, they don't know what it is anyway. And it's really quiet. It sounds like ramblings, of a sick man. The incense and the smoke and haze in the room, you might think that it was making his eyes water because of all of the effects of the room, but it's the dreams, it's the opioid dreams that he had about his village, his tribe, his small family, as he just has to lie there and just weep, remembering that he had pushed those things down. He was trying to move past it. He didn't want to think about those things again. He didn't want to think of his tribe. He didn't want to think of his wife bloody in the sand. He didn't want to think of his daughter's body, but he did. And he's just muttering. It's their names. They don't know what that is. They think he's just rambling. He's just saying their names to himself. And just crying, and he passes out again.
And with that, we bring session 5 of the Crypt of the Elephant to a close. We'll be back next week. Everybody, thank you for joining us. We'll be back.